Okay, we all know the Mueller hearings were a huge flop for the Dems and a spectacular win for the Republicans. And now the left is in a full-blown frothy panic. So here now to break down the language that gives it all away is pollster Frank Luntz. Okay, Frank, I want to start with Pelosi and a few of her media friends who used a certain loaded term post-Mueller. Watch.
What we saw today was a very strong manifestation, in fact, some would even say indictment, of this administration's cone of silence in their cover-up.
He could have done a sealed indictment theoretically. No?
This president remains vulnerable to criminal indictment once he leaves office.
Indictment, so they can't actually indict Trump, and they don't want to impeach him, but they'll just use the word indictment anyway.
Well, the whole process is a mistake. The American people, and it's amazing, there were 40, 50 cameras outside those hearings. What about health care? What about immigration? What about trade? The issues that really matter to the public?
No one watched the hearings. They're really low ratings.
Not only are they using the wrong language, it's simply on the wrong topic. If I'm a Democratic advisor, I'm going insane. Focus on quality of life, on things that Americans care about.
Now, I want to get to our second example of Dems in danger. Instead of taking up funding to address a growing crisis at the border that you referenced today, the House Oversight Committee approved subpoenas for Trump family members. Now, this enraged Republican Congressman Chip Roy, who said this before storming out of the hearing.
This is a fishing expedition for political purposes, which we saw on high display yesterday in the room next door. This is the face of the Democratic Party. This is the face of your Congress today, America.
Shame on my colleague from Texas who questioned the motivation of Democrats.
Shame on this body.
Yeah, I know. We've heard from you. America deserves better than what it just heard from, Mr.
Well, they called Trump a racist last week, basically, on the House floor, but they don't like saying it's a shame.
But it's out of control now. And
that was great from Roy. I think that's very effective.
But I would have changed it. Instead of making a statement, I would have asked a question. Is this the face of the Democratic Party? Because you're much more effective if you ask the question and your viewer responds to it, because then they're answering it in their minds, they're answering visually and verbally. Just change it from a statement to a question.
Now, finally, Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough, ramped up the rhetoric with this gem on what the Democrats need to do.
If you want to stop Donald Trump, it is time to stop fighting by Marcus of Queensberry rules. It's time to roll up your sleeves and go after him and do whatever it takes to win.
Well, what a tough guy. Of course, that's what Maxine Waters said, get in their faces, gas stations, restaurants. But Scarborough's a tough guy, get in their faces. Oh, we're so scared, Joe.
But now I have to roll down my sleeves because it's going to look like I was taking directions from Joe Scarborough. Right. No, the public does not want that. The people who are going to make up this next election don't want the yelling. They don't want the screaming. They want you to do the job for the American people. Results and success. They want it to be meaningful, they want it to be measurable, and three more words: efficient, effective, and accountable. I don't hear any of that language from the Democrats.
Yeah, the kind of huffing and puffing and all that. I mean, you got to see, is your life better than it was, 2.5 years ago? And by November 2020, 4 years ago? Are you doing better? Is your family doing better? That's going to be a pretty simple question to ask and perhaps even answer. Frank,
and
always great to see you.
It's 60-40 right now. That we are better off today than we were 2.5 years ago.
Ooh, this is going to be good. Frank will be with us through this election season. Frank, thank you so much.